Hi, good morning, everybody, or happy day, happy moment of the day whenever you're watching this. Today we're going to do a little general tarot guidance on what the part of you that feels stuck and unable to move forward needs to hear. I woke up today kind of having a conversation with myself as per usual, and I was made aware of parts of me that still feel weighed down here, stuck here. I'm about to move, I'm about to travel. And so I wanted to make this reading to kind of externalize my own process, what my parts need to hear, and hopefully get this video to reach a group of people who need to hear what this part of me also needs to hear. And as I've been saying in these tarot readings, pretty much all of them come from deep inside of me, and I make these to share the wisdom and the insights and the processing that helps me in my life. So you'll know that this is for you if it resonates for you. And if you feel like you're currently in a situation where you have a goal that you've been working towards reaching for a while, but you're at a place now where you're just about to cross over a barrier or a hump and you feel weighed down, you feel stuck, you might feel uninspired or unmotivated, or have these thoughts or feelings like there's no reason or purpose or whatever it is for you. And I'm just squeezing my hair because it's still wet. I just washed it. But yeah, so with that, I'm going to get into the reading. But before I do that, I do offer personal readings, so you can message me here or on Instagram at Rustic Peach if you would like one. I offer Celtic cross readings, 12 card, 12 house zodiac spreads, customizable spreads. I also have general deep dive monthly collective readings and monthly individual readings for on a subscription basis on Patreon, AleaTamar Art and Tarot. All this stuff will be in my description. And I also have a couple of purchasable videos, and I'll talk about those below as well. And I do have a little impromptu masterclass for psychic and intuitive skill refinement and development. So if any of those seem interesting, then send me a message or just check out my description for more info. And yeah, let's get into the reading. So if you're in this kind of situation, what does this stuck or hesitant part of you need to hear? Well, first of all, let's just see, what is this part? What does this part have to say? If you're coming up against something, what does this part have to say? Why is this part creating conflict or creating resistance? I'm gonna move my wet hair out of the way. And the deck I'm using is this beautiful Midnight Magic deck by Sarah Richard. It's all mushrooms. Okay, so what does this part that you're facing resistance from have to say? And this is for a collective group of people, so anybody this is meant to find. So this part is really passionate. There might be something having to do with making a decision, or fear of making a decision, or like a really strong desire to make a decision about something relating to just what you're passionate about. What does this part have to say? Okay, now we have the Page of Wands, and then we have the Empress. So this part feels like a very powerful part, and it might be that there's one part of you that is maybe overpowering another part. If you don't yet understand parts work, that would be probably really helpful to understand this video. So I would recommend searching on YouTube, parts work. What is parts work? Or also search no bad parts. I forget the name of the woman who made the video that I'm thinking of. But if you're not familiar with parts work or parts, and you just need a little synopsis, essentially in our psyches, we have different aspects that kind of run subconsciously, and they drive us to behave in different ways according to different scenarios. And sometimes, if we endure a trauma, or just if we go through anything in life, we might develop these aspects of ourselves that get stuck in that time. And as long as their needs are unmet or they're left unintegrated, they will continue to, operate under a certain set of drivers or motivators trying to fulfill their needs that were unmet and left unmet, days, weeks, months, years ago, lifetimes ago even. It's a thing. So sometimes, for example, if we went through something traumatic in a relationship, this is a very classic example, there might be a part of us that has learned to believe that relationships are bad and I'm going to get hurt if I open myself up. And there might be another part of us that really wants a relationship. And it's like, no matter how much we try to pursue what we consciously want, something keeps happening. Like, we keep attracting the wrong partners, or we keep finding ourselves in repeating cycles over and over. And basically what that can be explained by is internalized parts that are in conflict with one another. Because as long as we have two parts of ourselves that want conflicting things, until we learn how to bridge a gap of communication and compromise between the two of them, then we're not going to get anywhere. We're going to be stuck. And so when parts are in conflict with one another, regardless of what the subject matter is, be it relationships or career choices or, environment choices, like where you want to live, there's going to be stuckness. So with these cards, I hope that made sense. With these cards, there's like a very powerful, I feel like there's a part of you that is extremely passionate and extremely driven by your intuition and by your inner fire. The Queen, the Two, and the Page of Wands is like, I know what I want. I know who I am. I know what I want to do. I'm so curious. I'm so excited. I'm ready to make the decision, and I am receptive, and I let these good, amazing things come to me. So, okay, is there any more? And then we have the Knight of Wands on the bottom of the deck. So is there any more that we need to see from this part? The Five of Swords and the Eight of Swords. Okay, so I feel like this is the other part. So this could be the part that's creating the conflict or creating the kind of hesitation. What does this part need to say to us? It almost, okay, so Three of Wands, it almost said, so it's like you have been working on building up whatever it is that you need to build up within yourself to get to a place where you're ready to leap and ready to expand. Where'd it go? Three of Wands, okay, yeah. This one flipped out, but then it turned back on its face. So that was a message to me that there is a conversation going on between the part of you that is filled with like fervor and excitement and enthusiasm about the world, and the part of you that is maybe more anxious or internally conflicted or even afraid, or just very worried with the Five and the Eight of Swords. This is like internal conflict and a lot of anxiety. So I think that, and maybe even like, this is a part of you that can't really hear itself clearly, or is not really hearing, or feels like it's not heard, and therefore it has internalized all of its cyclic thinking and just it's exhausting itself. I hope this is making sense, but because this popped out briefly, this is a card of expansion, travel, forward momentum, moving, leaving. it did pop out for a minute. So it's like this part of you is aware of the next moves that you want to make and where you want to go in life, but there's something preventing it from being ready to take the leap. So let's see if anything else wants to be said by this part. What is going on with this part? The Star. So you both want the same things. So it's like I was saying before, if you have parts that want the opposite things to one another, there's going to be stagnancy, but it's like this part also wants what you consciously want. So the dream and the desire and the vision that you hold in your heart, it is pure, it is whole. It's almost like every single part of you is on board with that. So anything else that this part wants to say? Okay, the Devil. So it's attached. You might still have some, whether they're conscious or unconscious, some habits that are binding you to where you are right now, that you need to kind of release before you move forward, before you're able to. So what sorts of things, what else does this part want to say? The Moon. So there's a lot of uncertainty going on, a lot of emotion. What else does this part want to say? Yeah, so I feel like there's a certain depth of emotionality and like understanding that you have within you. But when this card came out, just with the context of the Moon and the Devil, it made me think of, oh my gosh, that was the weirdest sneeze I've ever done. Okay, excuse me. I think I felt a little shy. I've never sneezed in the middle of a tarot reading, and I usually make a proper sneezing sound, but not there. Anyway, I read this as somewhat of like an emotional overwhelm, just like the floodgates of emotion open. Anything else this part wants to say? I think this part is just having a lot of like anxieties and emotions, and then the Two of Cups fell on the floor, and it was like this energy, it just went out. So, you know, the way I read this is almost like, you know, some people read cards in reversals, but I read cards based off the way they move through space as well, which a reversal is a form of a card moving through space. So the way this moved through space and just fell on the floor and like pushed out, it was like, that was the energy. So I feel like this part is maybe lonely. This part maybe is lonely or hopeless or feeling disconnected or feeling like its efforts to connect and experience a reciprocal, fulfilling emotional connection are perhaps unmet. Let's see what else this part wants to say. The Hermit and the Nine of Swords. So yeah, things are, for a deep part of you, things are pretty overwhelming, and this could symbolize that you need to, this might sound weird, but you need to install a different mechanism or set of beliefs in your psyche, in your subconscious, in your inner world, to help aid you with the anxiety that you're feeling. So this part, it just seems like it's stuck, either like wallowing, and I don't want to use the word wallowing because it comes off a little bit like doesn't illuminate the full truth and the full expression of what is really going on, you know, because every part exists for a reason, and I really don't want to make any parts feel uncomfortable to reveal themselves or to say what they need to say, because sometimes certain parts are very, very sensitive, and this seems like a sensitive part. So I'm going to put all these cards back and see, and just ask, what can our conscious, vibrant, go for the gusto part give to our stuck part to help it feel seen, to help it feel ready to move forward? Like, what does this part need in order to move forward? What does this part need from us? What resources does it need in order to move towards this common dream? And I'm sorry if you hear the lawnmower because they're going right outside my window. So honestly, I feel like what this part needs is just to leave the circumstances that are triggering it behind. This is literally just leaving. It just needs to leave. It just needs a change of scenery. It just needs a change of pace. What else does it need to move forward? It needs you to continue following your dreams. The more that you get sucked into its anxiety, the more that you get sucked into false or limiting beliefs or fears or this and that, it feeds that part and it makes it stronger and it makes it harder to get up and go towards what you're envisioning and what you're dreaming. And also this could indicate like family as well. So if you spend time with loving, nurturing community, family, where you feel the sense of warmth and belonging and emotional security and connection, that could be very good for this part of you to remind you and show you, or remind it and show it and give it this nurturing experience of what it needs. Because we all need connection. We all need, inspiration, energy, care, nourishment. And when we're deprived of those things, it can be so easy to let our thoughts twist into a sour place where we lose hope and we get scared and we buy into fears and we become apathetic and we stop believing. So whatever part of you is there that feels stuck now, I just want to acknowledge that it's probably been through a lot. A lot of people have been through a lot of shit, and it's no joke. And it's important to take time to process and feel those feelings and grieve that grief or whatever it is. And so if you feel like, that would be helpful, then that could be a good thing to do. Just set aside some time and journal and spend time in nature, spend time with people who want to listen to you and support you. And, take your time to do that. And then when you've had your session, your time, then continue to move forward, continue to take the hand of that hurt little part or that anxious part or that fearful part and continue walking forward. So anything else that this part needs in order to move forward? So we have the King of Wands. It just needs you to keep on believing in yourself. It needs you to prioritize this energy, prioritize what you want, what you dream, what you feel. So I'm going to leave this here. I wish everybody the best of luck with whatever it is that you're moving towards and pursuing in life. Sending you lots of love. And again, reach out to me if you want a personal reading. Check out my Patreon, check out my masterclass, and my other paid video content. If you want to dive deeper into any of my recent readings, check those out as well. I forgot to mention, I also offer intuitive body art scan drawings where it's a reading and I basically visually tap into your field and I draw what I see with basic, color block forms, shapes, and textures. And then I parse apart each element in that drawing and then I analyze it. And it's all done intuitively. So if any of this interests you, send me a message. But yeah, take care. Thanks for being here.